What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Okay, let's talk about this here. Here we are at about 1 cent right now, chilling right at 1 cent. I gotta tell you, anytime I've seen chilling at about a 1 cent, 10 cent, $1, $100 psychological area of relevance, right, like this, and you don't see boom right off the bat and you just chill here, you likely will pull through it, right? You absolutely will. And you likely do go to the downside. If we look at this from a relative low to a relative high, we have gone below the 1618, or sorry, the golden ratio, the 618 here. Prior areas of resistance here, we were chilling there too for a little while, and then boom, right down low. We found resistance at the golden ratio, back tested it as resistance after finding it as support for a time, and now we're looking like we are right about to drop down to 0.0089 or even 0.00723. Somewhere in that area is what I'm expecting. Okay, from the current price, that would imply that SwiftCoin has a drop of about 15 to 30 to 33%, something like that. I really do like SwiftCoin, you guys. I think that it's going to be fine. I think that this next movement down is going to be the last of it, and I don't think that you're going to drop 30%. I do think that you'll drop more than 20%, but something kind of in between the 786 to 886 area is what I'm anticipating. What is right in between this area? If we look back, if we look left here, what's right in between here? Well, you've got this closing high period here. That's kind of nice, kind of found some support here. Let's even take this closing low period here, or maybe even the wicking low, because it gets kind of those wicks in there as well. If we take away the fibs, if we look at this, you can see that you've got prior areas of resistance right within this range, prior areas of support right within this range, closing resistance, closing support in this range as well. It's possible you could go a little bit lower, but something on the lines of I would think at least 19%, but probably a 23% drop is what you have to go. At around 0.00858 to 0.00816. That's the area that we're looking for. It's completely possible. It's a very valid notion that we could go down that far, and I think that we will. If we look, we zoom out even more, right? Because I was taking this fib. We go back here. I was taking this fib from that low to high there. If we go back further and we look at this fib, let's see. I wonder if it'll pull up anything. From that low right there, from the low to the high here, that takes us just below the 382, right? And just below the 382 is actually a very common thing to do, even in, or especially in strong movements like this, or even in strong movements like this, I should say. Going just below that 382 puts you at prior areas of resistance back here on the monthly time frame. Again, first interaction, you're very likely to find support just below it. Okay, so what we're looking for is a quick dip below the 382, kind of like Onyx coin. What you don't want to see is a close below the 382. That doesn't mean that you're destined to go to the downside forever, right? That's not what it means. But it would not surprise me in the least if you hold on now, if you were to go somewhat below the 382. Okay, I'm not expecting that you close below it, but even if you do, it's fine. Ideally, if you close below it, you will close back above it in the next week. If not, if you start closing multiple weeks below it, then we might have something to worry about. Maybe prices down at about 0.006 cents, 0.0037 cents. Those are areas to consider as possibilities as well. But again, I'm talking about them not because I expect them to happen. I'm just considering them as a possibility. All in all, the target area that we're looking for, I'm going to stop zooming in and out. I'm giving myself, I don't even know what to call it, vertigo maybe? I don't know. Probably not vertigo. That might not be appropriate, but let's just see here. If we're looking at this here, finding support in the areas that we're talking about, even below where we're talking about, it puts us in a nice trajectory still with this overall trend. I don't think we're going to go all the way down here. I'm wondering if a lot of people are assuming we're going to go down here, connecting the dots at prior areas of support here, prior areas of resistance here, coming into line with this trend line. I mean, it sounds like a nice story, but I don't believe that we're actually going to go below these lows. I don't even really believe that you're going to go below 0.0082 too much, maybe 0.0081 at the most, right? Something like that. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. The reason why I don't think that you're going to go that low, let's just be blunt here, is that for that to happen, SwiftCoin would have to drop about 40% or more. And I just don't see that happening, man. I don't see it dropping 40 to 50%. No. 20 to 30%, even 30% is a bit of a reach in my opinion. I think this thing's had enough of the downside. Nothing moves in a straight line. I don't care if it's down, I don't care if it's up, and you have been moving in a straight line down, a slow bleed down. When you do recover, you're going to do something like this. You're going to do something like this. You're going to do something like this or something like this. How do I know that that's going to happen? Because that's how you move in the bull market. Literally, I'm not making this up. This isn't a theory. It's a fact. The bull market started back here, right? For SwiftCoin, it started back here. That was your low, or maybe at least the bear market ended. You had your first pump. Boom. It was like this. Your bull market really takes off. Look at your moves. Boom, boom. When you move up and you're in a bull market, you move up at a much faster pace than you do move down. It's very obvious that the bulls are still in control here. The bears are not, but they're having their time. The bulls are asleep. They're resting. They're resting for their next bull parade, which will take you to new all-time highs. On a weekly basis, on the weekly RSI here, you do have lower lows in the RSI right here. Low here, lower low, with higher lows in the price. That's what you call hidden bullish divergence. Okay, lower lows to higher lows. Where you are in the RSI, you're not quite at the 40, but with another 20% drop or so, I could see you being around the 40 area to find support and then move up. You have found support in this area before. You found support in this area right here. You found resistance in this area, resistance in this area. Resistance right here in this area, right? It's a somewhat significant area, not just for SwiftCoin, but for any fib or for any chart out there. Not fib as in live, fib as in Fibonacci, okay? My bad. Wrong indicator. The daily RSI is looking a bit exhausted. It's a bit weak to the downside, right? You are gasping instead of finding support at the 40, you're gasping for air above it and then plunging right back below it. Likely you will see one more attempt down to this oversold area, maybe even inside of it, and that's going to bring your dump. I would assume, just based off of this alone, over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we're probably going to resume this downside move. We're going to see the full effect come in, and you will drop. It could be any day now that you're below 0.009 cents or below 0.0095 at least, right? Something like that. When it does come time to moving higher, we've talked enough about the downside. Let's talk about the upside, because I very much do believe there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the upside. SwiftCoin here, if we get it, here we go. We're at about $106 million. $100 million. We're right at that price right now at about 1 cent, $100 million. And your fully diluted valuation is exactly what your market cap is, right? So you're not going to have any coins diluting your supply, at least not to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure SwiftCoin is fully deployed. It's been around for a very long time, right? This chart, the chart that we're looking at, doesn't do it justice. SwiftCoin's an OG, man. It's been around. In case you guys didn't know, I mean, you should know. You should know the history of the coins that you buy. But this coin's been around since 2018. I think it might have even been around since 2017. I forget. Maybe it was just a concept before 2018, but it's been around for multiple cycles, right? At least 2 bull markets now, but it's been around for multiple bear markets. That would be that would be 1, 2 bear markets, 2 bull markets now, and it was a concept, I'm pretty sure, before it was ever listed as well. So it's been around. It's been around, man. It's definitely been around. Whenever it comes to growth, you're at $100 million, $106 million right now. If you were to see, let's just say, I don't know, maybe it's possible, but if you were to see a 10x, that would put your market cap at about $1 billion, 1.06 billion, right? Something like that. If you were to see 100x, that puts you at about 10.6 billion. And 10.6 billion, a 100x, no matter what it is not given easily. It's not something that you just find walking down the street, right? It's a rare case of events that you find 100x, but it's very possible. And it's even more so possible and even less so rare in the crypto space, especially if you do it right? If you buy something and you just hold and you're not trading it, you can really land 100x on a bunch of various things. Tom B, Swift C beaten other crypto, SwiftCoin versus XCN. Swift is always higher. This was made a couple days ago. Was it? Is it higher? I guess technically it's not higher. The growth is higher, but the price is not higher. So yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Maybe just on the days whenever it grows. But 10 billion, getting back to the point here, away from Tom B, sorry Tom, is that 10 billion $10 billion is not guaranteed to any coin, but that's a very acceptable and possible achievable target for a coin like this. It's been around since 2018. It's been around for multiple bull cycles and has shown stability and progress and remained somewhat relevant too in the space, and has only gained popularity instead of lost popularity. So I really do think this coin has 100x potential. $11 billion, $10.6 billion. That's not a small ask for any coin, but we're not asking the world either for this crypto, right? $20 billion is not even a small, is not asking the world. 40 billion. 80 billion is kind of asking a lot, right? And I mean, it's asking, I think even asking for 10 billion is a lot, to be completely fair. But if there was a coin that I talk about regularly that has a chance to not just see a 100x, but a multi-100x, I think SwiftCoin is that coin, man. I really do think this thing could see a market cap that's worth more than 20 billion, potentially even more than 40 billion. That's crazy money, you guys, right? $100, to put it in perspective, $100 at a 100x, that's $10,000. You could just put money, and not that $100 doesn't matter. I don't care what level of wealth you have. I'm sure nobody would like to just randomly lose a $100 bill. That's no fun. But you could put just any old random $100 bill into this thing, scrap together some money, and then have, literally at that rate, $25 could turn into thousands of dollars if it 100x's. You know what I mean? Let alone $100 could be worth $10,000, multiple tens of thousands of dollars. You don't have to invest a lot for this thing to pay off a lot, right? We're talking about money that could really, like, I don't know about you guys, but $100 would not change the average person's life, right? It might put a smile on their face, whatever, but it could turn into money that could genuinely change your life. And $40,000, $60,000, $10,000, it's not world-changing money, but for somebody who that kind of level of wealth has escaped you, right? If you can scrap together $100, this thing has a really solid chance of seeing some tremendous growth, you guys, really tremendous growth. And we talk about 100x as if it's this thing that we just like accept, but like putting the math to the table here, $100 100xing is a $10,000 price. That's crazy, man. That's all you got to do to make an extra 10K this year is buy this thing and hold it and not sell it until the end of the year. Like, dude, you're killing it. You're doing great, right? Let alone if you put in more. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I can be wrong, right? And you never know. I'm not promising you that $100 will turn into 10K or 40K. But if there was one coin that I think could get you there, this is definitely that coin, man. It definitely has a lot of potential. I think a lot of the coins that we talk about have multi-100x potential or even around 100x potential. And that's why we talk about them day in and day out, right? Some of them not so much, some of them do, but this thing has a lot of potential, man. I'm not even kidding you whenever I say $100 could really turn into some serious cash for a lot of people. And if I'm talking to the multi-millionaire crowd out there or the billionaires of the world, you know, $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. You put $1 million in here, whatever you want to do, right? Don't put money in here that you're not willing to lose, right? It's probably not wise to throw your entire life savings into one coin, but my life savings is in crypto. It's okay to have one coin as your biggest bag, and if this was to be your biggest bag, I mean, man, this is a good coin to have. I think that it's going to do very, very well when it comes to the end of the cycle. Enough of me buttering the bread. Let's actually go over some price targets here and see if it doesn't line up with what we were talking about there. I want to use SwiftCoin. I want to talk about it on its all-time history. No. I thought OKX had more history than that, though. That's kind of crazy. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? It does. Okay, there we go. Doesn't it get more than that? High to low here. 1618 tipped it there. If we were to go higher, let's assume that we see 100x, right? Let's just start with that. I mean, 2272 could be there. That's about a 20x from here, right? At 20 cents, just above 20 cents would be likely where you go. With the 2272, you're likely to go just above it. But I don't think that's your cycle ending high. I think that's probably going to be your next high or something around there, right? If you were to see a 100x, that puts you right at about $1. And so that's at about $1.06, right? 100x would be something like that. You're at your 2886 to 3113. This is what I like to call the money zone. So a 100x coming up, maybe it's not even 100x, maybe you only see an 89x. Maybe you see a little bit over 100x, and instead what you see is about a 158x, something like that. Anything and everything in between is fine. That's golden. That's great. This is the money zone right here. It's very possible you stop in this area. It's very possible that you stop in this area. You do not have to go higher. It's absolutely fine if you stop in this area between 95 cents to $1.69, okay? Yes, we were talking about multi-100x's, but does that mean it's going to happen? No. It's very possible you could stop in this area. Now, if you were to see a multi-100x, could you see a 600x? Basically, that's what that would be. Yeah, you could. You could go all the way up to $6. That's the next kind of target zone based off of this. Let's see if it agrees with this. Maybe not this high to low, but this high to low here. If we get any deep fibs in there, 4618 lining up there, 5618. These aren't really as reliable in my opinion, so I don't put too much weight on them. But they do line up in that same kind of area. I don't know. It's basically like you're gonna get something around a 80x 90x to 160x, somewhere in that kind of range. And if you don't stop there, you're going to be worth like hundreds, several hundreds of x's more, something like that based on the fibs. And that's all I really got for you guys. So nothing else to talk about there. A little bit lower, right? Probably going to go down like 20% or so. And then from there, the rest of the cycle, the rest of this year, things are going to be phenomenal. That's my expectations for SwiftCoin. Just because you put $100 in here does not mean it'll turn into 10,000 or 20,000. But if there was one coin that has a chance for that, this is definitely one of those coins, man. It definitely, and it has probably a better chance than most. I think that this thing is very well underrepresented, and I think that it's going to perform as it should, as it's been destined to from its birth. It's going to see some phenomenal growth. I'm not promising anything crazy. I guess I am promising crazy things. I'm not promising it though, right? I'm talking about it as a possibility. You never know. Maybe it only sees a 20-cent price by the end of the cycle. Maybe it only stops and then boo-hoo, that's a 20x. Maybe it only sees a 50-cent price. Maybe it doesn't even break $1. That's completely possible. But I don't expect anything shy of really like an 89x to come on the table. I think that as far as our targets to be considered are 89 and 89x, about an 80-90 cent price target area is what we could look for, if not something that's worth multiple dollars. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. And again, that likely area that we stop at is actually, I think it's at like 89 cents to $1.60. That's the likely stopping area. Okay, ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.